empty apartment because I moved. Echo, echo, echo. That is so fun. I did not realize how echoey an empty apartment would be. Hopefully this is not annoying for you as a headphone user, but for me as the person speaking, it kind of makes me feel cool. Like my voice is important enough to be echoed to the masses. Just kidding. But wait, let's switch rooms for the next part, just because I can. There are a good amount of books still here because they are not making it with me in my move. I am unhauling them. I think most of these are books that I have not read, that I don't think I will probably realistically ever read. Either they just don't quite fit my book taste, etc. Honestly, I just have so many books that tough decisions had to be made, and my new apartment is smaller, so logistically, space-wise, decisions also had to be made. Also, apparently I left a guitar here as well, so I'll have to take that with me today. Don't know how I forgot that in the move. Anyway, let's go look at the books that I'm unhauling, that I will not be reading, that aren't coming with me in the next chapter. I've got the books I'm unhauling. I've got boxes in the background purely for dramatic effect. And I do want to say a little disclaimer that every single book in this video that I will be unhauling will not go to waste. I plan to do a mix of things with these books, donate them, drop them off in free little libraries. I have tons of bookish friends and I'm also in a book club, so I'm definitely going to send this video to those friends to see if they want any of these books before I donate and free little library them. So all these books will find a great home. Okay, our first book to unhaul was actually a really hard choice. This is one that I debated for so long. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I really want to read a Talia Hibbert book. She wrote the Chloe Brown series, which I know is so popular. That was such like an OG book talk book that I never got around to. And yeah, I would love to read a book by her. I think this one specifically just sounds more like light, cute, and fun, but not like a must read to me. It's more of a cute rom-com. And one of my friends, JustAli, read this book and she kind of confirmed what I was already thinking because I was asking her opinion on it, and she said like it's cute, but not really like a must read. I feel like if a book is pretty low on my list to get to, then I will honestly likely never get to it because I'm always going to prioritize other books that I'm more interested in first. So that's kind of like a common theme you'll see in this video, is books that like I think I would like but not love. Next up, oh, how did this get in the pile? I do not want to unhaul this. This is my Curology skincare products that I will definitely be taking with me in the move. I've been using Curology for quite a while, but I've especially been extra appreciating my Curology skincare routine this summer. I've been spending so much time outside, so my Curology skincare routine has been so essential for keeping my skin healthy and hydrated, and Curology has also very kindly sponsored today's video. One thing I really love about Curology is how simple it's made my skincare routine. It's gotten my skincare routine down to 3 simple steps. And the first step that I do is using the Gentle Cleanser. It is a light foaming face wash. And I've actually been using Curology for about 2.5 years, which is a long time. And I naturally have really dry skin, and I feel like I can tell such a difference in my skin being way less dry and having a lot less redness. And then step 2 is using the Hydro Trap, my custom formula. The custom formula is my favorite thing about Curology. Before I started using Curology, I really had no idea where to even begin with a skincare routine. I feel like there's an overwhelming amount of skincare products out in the world, and I had no idea what my skin even needed. So I love that with Curology, you get expert care from a licensed dermatology provider who selects prescription strength ingredients using your skin's unique history and future goals to prescribe your custom formula. Specifically, the Hydro Trap is really hydrating and helps prevent signs of aging, which I was really looking to target. And I love that also with the licensed dermatology provider, you can message them anytime if you have questions or need to adjust your custom formula. And lastly, I use their moisturizer. And another thing I love about Curology is just how convenient it is. Everything is done online and your Curology box is delivered right to your door. And then I just use their makeup remover and chapstick as needed. And you can get started with your Curology journey today by clicking the link in my description. And that link will also give you a special offer on your first order. Huge, huge thank you again to Curology for sponsoring this video. And I need to put this in a box to bring with me to the new apartment today. Okay, next book is All My Kisses for You and You Were Never Not Mine, both by Monica Murphy, and both of these are part of the Lancaster Prep series. This is another one where it's like, I think I would enjoy her books, but there are just so many romance series that I think I would love, and I just don't know if this is a priority series for me. There's so many series that I want to read that I haven't gotten to, like Finding 13, Magnolia Parks. I still need to finish reading Crescent City. As you guys know, if you've seen my channel before, I have a lot of series I'm in the middle of, and I have a lot of series high on my wish list, so I think this is just one that is not high up on the list, so I'm probably never gonna get to it. Oh, okay, these are 2 kind of fun ones. I actually read these books. These are some of the only books in the stack that I've actually read and ended up hauling, but we have City of Ghosts and Lock and Key. I read both of these books in one of my recent videos of book shopping for $1 reads. I got this one at a free little library and this one at Goodwill, and I enjoyed them. I think I gave them both in the 3-star range. They were fun, but I kind of feel like since I got them really inexpensively, it kind of feels fun to put them back in free little libraries, a little bit full circle. City of Ghosts is middle grade, so it did feel like a little bit young for me, but it's a super short read. I think I read it in a few hours, so if you love like a cozy spooky book, you could really enjoy this. And then Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen, I really like the main character. There's a little sub-romance plotline, but it's mostly just about her being a high schooler going through this big transition in her life, and it's just kind of like about her life, which is really fun, but did move like a tiny bit slow, so I had a little bit of mixed feelings about it, but I definitely cared a lot for the main character. A lot of these books were sent to me by authors. Whenever I first started doing YouTube full-time, I got reached out to by so many authors and publishing companies who put me on their PR list, which is so cool, and I'm so grateful that I've ever been in a position to be able to receive free books. I think I will say, and this is my own fault, I went like a little crazy with the free books. A lot of times if you just get put on a publishing company's PR list, you don't get to choose which books are sent to you. A lot of these books I think are going to be really good books, but might not quite fit my book taste or aren't quite books I would have picked out for myself. And I've since gotten off book PR list just because I want to be a lot more intentional about any books that I'm bringing into my library being books that I'm super excited about reading. But some of these are books that were sent to me, and I think I would rather give them to someone who it is way more fitting of their book taste. Hello, it's Editing Alley. I just wanted to make sure that what I just said made sense. Basically, I typically would not buy books and then just unhaul them. Pretty much every single book in this video is a book that was sent to me by PR, so that's kind of why I'm now kind of going through and being like, okay, I want to make sure these books like really align with my taste, or give them to a friend who is even more excited to read them. And I'm hoping to really not do unhauls in the future, because I do want to be a lot more intentional about every book that I bring into my library being a book that I'm so excited to read. But that's how I kind of accumulated so many books that I feel mixed on keeping or not, along with moving and needing to downsize. All that to say, these are 5 romance books that I do think are going to be really cute, but I just don't think I'm going to be like obsessed with reading. The first one is Rival Darling, a hockey sports romance. I love hockey romances, but I have a list of Elle Kennedy books that I want to prioritize in the hockey romance world. Then we have All the Missing Pieces, Dungeons and Drama. This one, I feel like for someone's really specific taste, it could be perfect for them. Our female main character loves musicals and theater, and then our male main character loves like role-playing games like D&D. And that's just such a fun combo. I feel like it's kind of rare that you see a more like nerdy male main character. And then we have 2 Tessa Bailey books also in this category. Tessa Bailey, I just read My Killer Vacation by her and did not like it. I DNF'd it, and should I give her books another chance? Maybe, but I kind of don't want to, and I feel bad saying that because I just found that book so kind of cringy, even though it's fun. So the ones I'm unhauling from her is Too Hot to Handle and Fangirl Down. Also, it looks like it's about to pour outside, so if you see it getting dark in here, it is raining. Oh, wait, this book was in my unhaul pile, but it's a Daphne Perry book. I feel like I would not want to unhaul this book. I love Daphne Perry. She wrote the Eden series, which I'm still in the middle of and need to finish, but I love that series. It's a small-town romance series, and each book follows a different sibling in the Eden family, and there's also a little mystery woven into that series, and this kind of looks like a fantasy series by her. Let me look it up really quick. Oh my gosh, it has 4.46 stars on Goodreads. That is so high of a rating. Okay, I definitely need to keep this book. It says it's a slow burn, high stakes romantasy where enemies become lovers, monsters stalk a cursed realm, and a forgotten princess finds the strength to tear off her crown and become the warrior she was never meant to be. Okay, yeah, we're putting this in the keep pile. Oh, now we have my Christmas books. I have such a love-hate relationship with Christmas romances. I think I've talked about this before, but I feel like one Christmas book a year is perfect because Christmas books are normally kind of cheesy. They're not the best, but like you have to read one to put yourself in the Christmas mood. At least I always want to, but I don't feel like I need a lot of Christmas books, and somehow I've accumulated a lot of Christmas books. So there are a few Christmas books I have at my new apartment that I'm keeping, and there are 5 that I'm unhauling. The first one is Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. Oh no, another Tessa Bailey book. I feel bad. Like it sounds like I'm starting a Tessa Bailey feud by unhauling a 3rd book by her. I have read 2 books by her that I really liked. I promise. I'm not a Tessa Bailey hater, but I am unhauling 3 books by her, so I have no excuse. Then for Christmas books, we have Christmas at Spruce Hill Farm and Fa La 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 Faking It. Both are kind of giving like Hallmark movie vibes, which again, I think would be fine, but not I love. These 2 were harder choices, A Winter in New York and A Jingle Bell Mingle. This book is about a young chef who stumbles upon a secret family recipe that might lead her to love and life she's been looking for. I think the reason I ended up unhauling this one is I think I saw Haley Fan read this in a video, and I feel like I have fairly similar book taste with her, and she did not like it. If a book is a maybe to me, and then I see someone whose opinion I really trust not like it, it kind of just pushes it into the unhaul area. And next up we have actually 2 books I've already read and actually liked. I just ended up getting special editions of these. I didn't really feel like I needed the normal and special editions, and that is We Were Liars and Family of Liars. And there's a TV show of We Were Liars that just came out. I'm in the middle of it. I think I'm just a few episodes in and really loving it. I love when books become shows or movies. It's just so cool to see the book come to life. And I feel like this is actually a series that's like pretty good for a wide variety of book taste, because it's not like just a typical romance or mystery. Basically, there's a group of teens who are called the Liars, and they're spending the summer on a private island, so a great summer read. There's a little romance in it, but there's also something weird going on with cadence. You don't quite know what is happening. You just have to read and find out. I think the ending is pretty crazy. There's also 2 other books that I've read that I unhauled really recently, and that is Shatter Me and Bring Me Your Midnight. I actually also had 2 copies of these because I had one normal and one special edition of each book, so I just decided to cut all my normal editions, but also highly recommend those books. The Shatter Me series is so good, and Bring Me Your Midnight I feel like is so underrated. It's a enemies to lovers romantasy, and the main character is a witch, very atmospheric. I don't feel like anyone talks about that book, but I give it 5 stars. I loved it. Then we have Resist. This was a hard choice because I think the concept of this book is really cool. It's in a dystopian world that has no air, and if you want to breathe, you have to pay. And I feel like that's just so interesting. Like, what if you can't afford to pay for air? How does this world work? I assume they don't like leave this bubble. How do they allow people to breathe if the world has no air? Like, so many cool questions around this. But I got this book in a blind date with a book, and it's the 2nd book in a series, unfortunately. And I keep meaning to buy the 1st book, and I think I've owned this book for a few years and have just never gotten to buying the 1st book. So I feel like that's kind of a sign that it's just never been a high priority on my TBR. And this is another book that I got recently in a blind date with a book that just really doesn't sound like my book taste. That's such a gamble with blind dates with books. They're so fun to me, but then I do feel like it's so 50-50 on whether I'm actually gonna want to read that book. It sounds more just like super spicy, darker romance. I think it was labeled as a billionaire romance, which it is, but then once I actually looked it up and kind of read like the description and more about it, I was like, I don't think this is quite my taste in romance books. It's also really short. It's under 250 pages and the text is huge, and I do kind of have beef with short books. Sometimes they're fun, but I feel like I rarely love them just because there's not much like story for you to really sink your teeth into. All right, with these next 2 books, I've got maybe a hot take opinion. I actually thought it was a normal opinion until I said it in another video, and then people were a little mad at me. If a book has bad reviews, I normally don't want to read it. And I know, you have to give a book a chance. You can't judge it based on its reviews. And there have been some books with lower reviews that I have ended up loving, so it definitely happens. Reading is so subjective, but I think if I'm already a little bit on the fence about a book and it also has bad reviews, then I'm probably gonna unhaul it and or not buy it in the first place. I'm curious how much you guys value reviews before you buy a book or decide if you're gonna keep it or not. Low reviewed books that I'm unhauling is All This and More, and Tell Me How You Really Feel. Okay, another one I'm still a little on the fence about, and that is Darkly. This is where like I wish I could just download every book into my brain. There wasn't really, I guess, any reason for me to not read it. I just think I have so many other books I'm more excited to read on my TBR. It does sound like a really cool YA psychological thriller. It says, a seemingly ordinary teenage girl, a mysterious internship, and a legendary game designer now dead with a dark legacy. And I felt like this could be a good summer read because it says, this summer will be the most twisted, darkly game of all. So I feel like if something like game design and mysteries is like a cool subsection for you of interest, this could be a really cool book for you. I think the rest of books are the first books in series, and as I've said, I'm in the middle of so many series. Series take so long to read, especially I am a very slow reader, so I feel like I have to be very intentional about the series that I keep on my TBR because I can only read so many of them. I know people love Kathleen Glasgow, but unfortunately, these 3 books are getting cut. I think I'm just more so like a romance, fantasy, mystery girl, and her books are more like kind of general fiction, I believe, so I don't think they're like 100% my book taste. Then we have the American Royal series. No, I'm actually so sad that I cannot download every single book into my brain because if I was immortal, I would keep and read all these at some point. Anyway, this series says, imagine an alternate history where George Washington became the first king of the United States instead of the first president. And this series follows the modern day lives of the Washington royal family. Like, that's so cool. Then we have Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I also think this is probably such a great series. I know Victoria Aveyard is such a popular author, but I also own the Red Queen series by her that I really want to read. So again, this one's just been a low priority on my TBR. Then we have A Language of Dragons, which it says is a YA fantasy novel set in an alternate 1920s London where dragons and humans coexist. 2 more fantasy unhauls is Dark Star, Burning Ash Falls White, and Night of the Witch. Then we have The Never List. It says that this is a spicy fantasy reverse harem romance book, and I just don't know if reverse harem is for me. It says the 4 princes need a mate and everyone wants a chance except for her. Then we have Snow Globe, which is another one that I have judged by its reviews. It doesn't have the best reviews, although it does have a cool concept. It says, enclosed under a vast dome, the Snow Globe is the last place on Earth that's warm. Outside Snow Globe is a frozen wasteland, and every day citizens face the icy wind to get to their jobs at the power plant. Then we have Sweet Nightmare by Tracy Wolff. This is a fantasy book that takes place at a school, which I think is so fun because I feel like a lot of fantasy that I've read is more high fantasy. So I love when a fantasy book ends up taking place at a college or high school. It says there's vamps, werewolves, witches, and dark fae all in one school. Like, that's so fun. But I also own Crave by Tracy Wolff, and I just know I'm gonna prioritize that one way more than this one, and Crave is already such a big series. And then lastly, we have the Royal Blood series. It says royalty, murder, and scandal combine in this thrilling new series about an American girl who becomes the British monarchy's greatest nightmare. So I think if you are into royal family, young adult books, and love a little murder, this could be a cool series for you. And that is officially all of the books I'm unhauling, and next time you guys see me, I will be in the new apartment. I'm so excited. It's definitely very much a dream apartment of mine, and I'm very, very excited for you guys to see it. In my next video, I should be decorating my new apartment. So I'll see you guys in that video. Bye!